All right. I think this is working. Can you all hear me? Had all kinds of problems with this. I'm going to try something here. Adam, hi, buddy. Sarah's here. Adam's here. Can you all hear me? Okay, good. Okay, good. Hi, everyone. Hey, Jenny. All right. So, yeah, you know, and Adam, we're gonna talk. And no, I don't hate you for your comments. You're 100% allowed to have your opinions on this. But this is something that I've struggled with now for a week or so. Um, it's something that really hit home for me because it landed on a few things that are near and dear to my heart. And if you don't know what the hell I'm talking about tonight, um, it's this whole Cody Satori debacle that's playing out on the internet. And earlier I made a post about how I feel about it, right? I do know those two very, very well, and I have experienced what they do several times now. Well, more than several times, a bunch of times. And I don't think they're getting a fair shake. Now this could come back and bite me one day. But until that day comes where Jenny Davis, I can't see your comments for whatever reason, but until the day comes where somebody can offer me irrefutable proof that they are faking it, until those words come out of Cody's mouth or Satori's mouth, I don't think it's fair that the mob mentality savagely attacks people. When the vast majority, 99, I would bet 99.9% of the people that are making these comments have never witnessed what they do. So you're not just being mean to them or rude to them or whatever you are being to them. You're also taking away from the people that have experienced this. But I'm going to take you through from day one, as a person that is also very, very skeptical, how I met them, what it meant that night, what unfolded, because I'm watching some of the comments, I stayed out of this. I haven't watched a lot of the videos. There was one I watched today, but I'm looking at some of the comments to Cody and Satori on their statement that they made today. And these comments were things that they had offered to me on that very first day, and also in subsequent experiences. I made myself a drink tonight, so just so you know. Now, when I say this landed on some things that are near and dear to my heart, I mean that. I struggled this whole time with what to say, if I should say anything. Having been in the on the side of being publicly attacked, I know what that's like. And sometimes you don't want people to talk. Sometimes you don't want any more light shed on this. So I didn't say anything. Part of me feels a little guilty, right? But once they made their announcement today, and I saw some others, sticking up for them, and rightfully so, I felt okay making my post. So those things that are important to me are, number one, what I witnessed today with Cody and Satori's statement are two people that sat next to each other. It's on their YouTube, Jenny. Two people that sat next to each other and faced the music and stuck together and supported each other, much like what Sarah and I had to do back in March. It's a shitty position to be in, but let me say this. If Sarah had any doubt in me or I had any doubt in her, we would have done that video. And I would venture a guess that it's the same for Cody and Satori. So you have to take that into consideration, because what I'm witnessing right now is a mass judgment on two people that the people judging them do not know. I don't know, Megan, go to Satori's. If you go to Satori's Facebook page, there's a link to her YouTube, The Paranormal Couple. Now, I'm not sitting here tonight to tell you what they're doing is real, or that it's paranormal, or that it's the ghosts of our friends and family. I'm simply coming here to testify to what I personally have experienced paranormally with those two and as human beings. As friends, I consider them friends. And just like, I had hoped when we were being attacked that our friends would stand by us. I'll do the same for them until I'm proven wrong. So I'll take you through exactly what happened the very first night I met those two, what they offered and what transpired, and then the times afterwards. Because I think it's important to share. And I think it's important to be fair in this, because I watched the comments and there was one Twitter that I looked at where, a psychic medium, their experiences were real, but what happens with Cody and Satori aren't. Yet that person can't offer any truth. They can't offer any proof, right? Anybody can recreate anything. And watching it on video, watching what they do on video is not even close to being there. That much I can promise you. So either I'm right or I'm wrong on this. And all right, right now I'm rolling dice. Anybody that knows me knows I like to gamble. So I'm rolling dice on this, and I do believe that the two kind souls that I know and have spent a fair amount of time with are not out scamming anybody. Because here's what I'll tell you, which none of you know, except maybe Sarah. I've tried to hire those two so many times to do that whole magic show at our events, and they have always refused it. They won't take money for it. Now everybody's going to tie some threads to other things, right? It's sad, and they're going to say that they're going to make money in other ways. But what's sad to me is that people that have a gift, okay, I believe it's a gift right now. I believe it, are being pushed into, or people are attempting to push them back into the shadows. Why? They've been doing this. They never came public with it for a while. I've offered them a lot of money to come do this at our events, and they've always turned me down, to the point where I would want to fight Satori on it and Cody. So let's start February 26th of 2022. I was at Murdoch Whitney up in Mass with Joe Renoni. I was there to have a business meeting with them. And Joe and I were going to spend the night at Murdoch Whitney over at Isaac Moore's house because nobody had, we were like one of the first to sleep in there after however many decades of that building being closed. I don't know if this is about jealousy, guys. It might be. I think it's more about mob mentality. But we'll get into that in a little bit. So Joe and I are there. We're at Murdoch. Joe gets a call and he looks and he's like, "Hey, you want to go over to SK Pierce with, there's some people going for a hangout. You want to go?" I'm like, "When?" He's like, "In an hour." I'm like, "Shit, yeah, let's go. Let's do this." SK Pierce, I had never been, and it's a beautiful place. I didn't know how beautiful it was till I got there. So I show up with Joe, and who's there? Bunch of people. I won't name everybody because I don't even know if they know I'm doing this, but a bunch of people in Cody and Satori. I'll walk in, and I'm like, "Holy shit, that's Satori Hawes," right? No idea what they could do at this point. So we go to it, but this is an hour later, folks. Hey, Teresa. It's an hour after this phone call was received, roughly. And we walk into the SK Pierce mansion, and there's Satori and Cody. There's some other people I kind of knew. And we were going to investigate. It was a big old hangout. So we get into this circle prior to investigating. Hey, April. Prior to investigating. And all I hear is somebody dropping their flashlight left and right. These fucking bangs on the floor. They're around. I'm like, what is happening? So I open my eyes. We finished this little circle and I open my eyes and Joe looks at me. He's like, "Dude, did you hear it?" And I'm like, "Hear what?" He's like, "The bangs." I'm like, "Have somebody who's dropping their flashlight." He's like, No, dude. He's like, "You have no idea what you're in for." So he's like, "It's those two." Well, I don't know shit at this point. So I'm like, okay. We go upstairs. Now, we do a little bit of investigating, and then those two do what they do. Now, the people that were there with me are not day one greenhorn newborns. Okay, they're just not, and neither am I. Am I a skeptical person? Yeah, and this will come out in this story right here. So we all get in this room and this shit starts. And I don't understand what's happening. I'm hearing footsteps come in. I know you guys can send me all the fucking videos you want. Some ventriloquism toe shit that I don't care. Nothing transposes onto video the way it happens in real life. And then then people start showing up. I am not telling you this is paranormal. I'm not telling you what this is. I'm telling you what I heard and what all those people heard, and some of them had before. So it starts happening, and there's video of it out there. It's not my video. You can see my face. We are all so conditioned, right? And we've all spent all these years trying to find this shit, looking for it. And it's hey, Rachel, it's right there. All of a sudden, it's right there. And you're like, what's happening? There's nothing that your brain can do to really fully understand what you're experiencing, right? So I'm like, okay, this is definitely the craziest shit I've ever witnessed. Thank God somebody's filming it. And I was sitting on the floor, right? And I looked at their feet. They caught me looking at their feet, right? And Satori's like, "Hey, Rob, I know you don't believe us." I'm like, Satori, it's hard to believe. Like, I don't get this. I can't. It's really, I don't. My brain doesn't want me to believe this shit. She's like, "We'll take our shoes off if you want." And I felt like a dick at that moment. So this is important because there's a million comments on this one video that I watched where people are like, "Take your shoes off, take your shoes off." They've offered it to me. I'm going to get to some more. So, like, Satori, no, you don't need to take your shoes off. This is just because I'm like, one of them has this crazy velociraptor toe. But still, that doesn't explain why these knocks are coming from walls, from ceilings, from down the fucking hallway. So I watched this happen. And then somebody's loved ones come through. And then another person's loved one comes through. And then they start rolling through an alphabet. And I sat and I looked at what happened. And it was someone for me. So, Adam, believe me, I get what you are saying in your comment. It was someone for me. It was my father. Right? His name, a lot of people don't know this. My dad, this was at S.K. Pierce Mansion in Massachusetts. My dad's name's not his name. My dad got wrapped up in some nefarious shit over his lifetime and ended up using a different name. So, long story short, they start knocking out. Now, my last name is 10 letters. So they start knocking this shit out. Boom, 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 boom. They're halfway through my last name. Does this make sense to anybody? And Joe knows my last name, right? He's probably the only one there that did. And I'm like, yeah, it does. So what do they knock out? They knock out my dad's full name. They knock out his date of death. They knock out my brother's names. They knock out my niece's name, who passed at 1, and a message. So this is where, right, Adam, I get it. Probably one of the biggest messages ever received. No way they would know. Oddly enough, tonight I kind of figured it out. There's 22 words, right? Important. Shut up, Mike. So they knock all this shit out. And Cody was spent doubled over. And they had to take a break. And I'm like, motherfucker, this is bullshit. It's bullshit. Cody's outside taking a break. I go out for a smoke because I don't know what the fuck I just went through. And I'm Googling shit. I'm trying to understand this. And I'm like, this can't be real. Like, this is bullshit. So I'm like, I'm either now part of the biggest fucking scam in history, right? Or it's real. So I went in, back in, and I wasn't mad, but I was like, this is this is bullshit. There's no way this is possible. So we all hung out a little bit longer, and then they're like, want to do something else? And I was like, yeah, actually. So this is going to go to another comment on this same video that I watched. So we went up to the third floor. And by the way, they had done some readings for others. And while I was going through this shit, I'm like, all right, let's make sense of this. An hour before we get this call, and that would mean that my close friend, would have had to been in on some bullshit scam to get me over to the SK Pierce mansion so that these two could fake it. For me, a nobody. I'm literally a nobody in the paranormal. But it's Satori Hawes. Hey, Adam, I'll get to that. Like, I know, Adam, you don't want to believe this, and it's fine. They didn't know shit about Stacy, and I had never really talked about it. So long story short. So now I'm like, I'm reasoning with myself. So Satori Hawes is going to jeopardize the family name to impress Rob Stakowitz, a nobody in the paranormal field. Think about that, folks. So we go up to the third floor and they're like, let's try something. Because she knew, Satori knew, and Cody knew, but he didn't call me out. Satori called me. She's like, well, let's do something your way. Here's that comment. I saw this comment and I was like, if only they knew, right? Which made me feel better about talking about this. We did. We're up on the third floor at SK. And I'm like, how about we blindfold you too? And put headphones on you, Estes method, and one of us calls out the alphabet, whispers the alphabet. And that's what we did. And you know what it knocked out? How come nobody else can hear us? So now what? Now what? So it's either bullshit or it's not, right? But I'm telling you, 24 years proving shit to people all over the country, all over the world with my day job, struggling to understand what is happening here. What's stopping me from taking all my paranormal equipment and just chucking it in the dumpster after experiencing this? So I left that night, befuddled, bewildered, shattered in terms of my belief systems and what I've been going on. I mean, look, they walked into rooms and shaving a haircut just fucking happens. Sorry, Leo. Now either this dude has the most flexible toe on the planet, and there should be a statue made of him for that. Plus, he's a ventriloquist with it, or whatever's happening. And I'm not telling you it's paranormal. I don't know what it is. Or whatever's happening is happening. And it's hard for people to even want to accept that. So we became friends. We did. I had an event at SK and they showed up. Not that long after. And there were guests there. You can, Adam. You may. And there were guests there, and Cody and Satori showed up and never once asked for anything. Never once even wanted to do that. I made the mistake of asking them to do it on the second rotation, which made the rest of my investigation just stupid at that point. But people got to witness it and experience it. And Adam, type your question out while I move on to the next story. Here's another story. Stacy came into my life sometime in February, and I hadn't really publicly talked about that shit at all, especially with Cody and Satori. On a ride up to the Conjuring house, I was on a call with Stacy over here about some things, and I don't know what happened, but there was not there. I don't believe, other than in February, that one show, that there was any real connection between Rob and Stacy. And Stacy and I were talking about some things. Get to the house, and those two did their thing. This was a video that was posted and later had to be taken down for other reasons. It was also that night that I was put in between them. I'll get to that, Adam. If you go watch their statement, that might make sense. This is what I mean. Like, I'm not frustrated with you, and I don't hate you for it. But everybody needs to get all the facts. There have been judgments made on these two based on the mob mentality of a YouTube crowd. It isn't fair. You want to believe. You say you want to believe. And one day, I hope you all get to experience. And I want to believe too. And I'd be lying to you right now. And Cody, Satori, if you watch this, you know me. Have I questioned this? Absolutely, I have. It's hard not to. Since day one. Every time I think about it, my mind won't let me accept it. In April, Sarah, Rachel, Kev, they're all there on an impromptu thing that I'll get to. And they witnessed it too. Anyway, so it knocked out, message comes through, knocks out, keep working with Stacy, Rob. There's video of this, and you can see my reaction. Pat was there. Dallas was there. You can see my reaction in this video. It was like, what the fuck? Because guess what? They shouldn't have known that. Nobody would have known that. Unless, of course, there's some mole in my life that's feeding information into this giant underground network of people that want to dupe Rob Stackowitz. Come on. Stop it. So this happens. That same night, I got put between those two. They let me get between them. And in the video, you see my reaction. There was this crazy spiral feeling. Maybe it was psychosomatic. I don't know. But there was this crazy feeling in my arm. And when I tell you, they can't, whatever these knockings were came into the room and were dancing around in front of me. It was like, bop, 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 bop. Again, I can't imagine the physical capability of somebody being able to physically pull this shit off. But it happened in front of a lot of people. Also on video, which again doesn't transpose well. It doesn't give you the real feel. The same night, that night, I noticed there was one of our guests that was there. On the couch like this, like bullshit. Again, I get it. Believe me, that was me that very first day. And he was sitting there, and Cody was standing in front of me to my right, and Satori was off to the left. And I was behind them, and they'd had no idea I was going to do this. And I have done this to them on multiple times, probably to the point where it's fucking annoying for them, but whatever. I put my hands on their shoulders, both of them. And as soon as I touched them, they came in. The knocks, the footsteps. That same night, they were talking to someone, and we heard it. We all heard it. Walk up the stairs, across the second floor, down the other side. Again, I'm a smart guy. I think I'm a smart guy. I don't want to believe it so badly that I would just be fucking, blindly obedient to what they're saying, because they don't say anything. Then I am smarter than I look, as Sarah would proudly tell you. They've never asked for anything from me. They refuse to take any form of payment, any form of anything. And I want that. Believe me, I want other people to experience it. That's just two examples. I've done it in restaurants. We're at the Gettysburg Bash. I asked if we could use their room to do a Delco experiment. They ended up doing it impromptu in a hotel April Bissett was there. Rachel, Kevin, Sarah finally got to witness this, which made me super happy. And you would think that of all the people that I have been with that have experienced this, you think that one of them would be like, I think that was bullshit. So far, it hasn't happened except for that one guest. And once those footsteps came in, when I touched those two, when they weren't expecting it. Now, let's go back to that for a second. If they're all blaming Cody right now, he would have to have crazy reactions that are like instantaneous. And when I tell you this is instantaneous, it's instantaneous. And Sarah's making a really good point right here. Look, I'm 53 years old. When I stand up and my knee pops, you know where that's coming from. It's coming from my knee. Sarah was sitting right next to them in Gettysburg when the knocks started. Kevin, Rachel, if Kevin's on, I'd love, and anybody that wants to come on and talk about this, I said this is an open conversation. Come on. Believers and non-believers, I don't care. I want to discuss it. Sarah was sitting right next to him. Like, let's take a moment and think about if somebody was popping a toe or a knee or whatever, you would think that sound would have to kind of come from the general area of where it's happening. I didn't hear it that way. Pat didn't hear it that way. The folks here that are willing to talk about it, from what I understand, didn't feel it that way. I don't know. I don't know how to explain this. Kev has a prosthetic leg. Kev felt this in his, as he calls it, stump. He felt the vibrations, right? So now that leads to, some of the things I'm hearing about, geophones and vibration sensors. And again, while we're trying to jam this insanely magical nub, it's a nub. This magical experience into the physical world, right? Where we're talking about knocks and bangs coming from we don't know where, and you want them to show up on a geophone. Well, okay, if that's what's going to help you prove your case, that's fine. Whatever. Adam, I'm going to address your comment. I'm not talking down to your comment on my post. I am not talking down to the people that question this. I admit to have questioned this multiple times. Every time I see the damn thing happen, there's something with my brain that doesn't want to allow this. So I'm not questioning that. What I'm questioning are people's desires and ability to jump on board and be part of this mob mentality to cut people down that they've never even met. Some of them call themselves psychics or mediums or this or that. We're supposed to believe that. We're not supposed to question that. But here's two people that have shared this with so many people for free. I don't want to hear shit about their museum or whatever. Well, we want to beat them down. Take all that aside. If they couldn't do this, if they were just two normal people, and they are normal people, I'd still be friends with them because they have been so kind to me and so nice to me and to everybody I've met with them. It's just not fair. So, yeah, it bothers me. It does bother me. Like I said, if I'm wrong, if tomorrow Cody or Satori or both came out and said, we've been fucking bullshitting you guys. We suck. I'll eat crow. all day long. But I know what it's like to be on that side. I know what it's like to have people ganging up on you and spreading gossip and spreading rumors and making up stories, to have people who don't know you jumping in and piling on. It's just not fair. And that, my friends, is not what the paranormal is supposed to be. It's not what humanity is supposed to be. So let's imagine for a minute that all of those people are wrong, or that these two truly can do what they claim that they can do, that I've witnessed them do. What have you accomplished at the end of the day? Ruining someone's reputation, pushing somebody that might have this amazing gift back into the shadows where they don't want to share it with you anymore, with the world anymore. For what? Because somebody made a video and you have millions of followers. Like, give me a break. So yeah, I have no problem with questioning, right? Sam and Colby can question what they want to question. They had the experience with them. That's fine. To the piler honors who have never spent a second with these people, have not witnessed it, have not felt it, I think you can fuck off. And if that's me talking down to them, Adam, then yeah, I'm talking down to them. And Adam, I'm not picking on you. It just isn't fair. And I don't care what the subject is. We could be talking Lincoln Logs right now. I don't care. You don't do that to people. So yeah, there was part of me feeling very, very guilty about not making a statement or not standing up. But then I'm like, fuck, maybe they just don't want that right now. So finally today, a little while ago, when I saw their statement, I'm like, thank God I can actually say what I want to say. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. And if I've been duped, then God bless them, because they were the most proficient people at ever duping me in the world. But I'll tell you what, I don't believe that for a second, because they have been nothing but kind. They have checked on me when things weren't great. They have spent time talking to me through about a lot of different things. Here's something else that I haven't shared, right? That video I was talking about, the night then they put me between them, and we had this video in here. When I would play that video in this house, and I have the text messages to Satori to prove this, I would play that video here in this room. It would happen to the point where I was like, what's happening right now? I sent Satori a message. I'm like, hey, you two are contagious, and it's fucking freaking me out, because every time I played that video, I'd get knocking up here. Yes, I live in an apartment now. Yes, it could have been anything, but it was crazy, weird coincidence that it happened every time for about 2 or 3 days that I played this video, because I did watch the video dozens of times trying to understand it. I've seen the physical reactions. I'll touch on this before I'll be done saying my piece here. I've seen the physical reactions, especially with Cody. I've watched his muscles twitch. I've watched him bend over, double over in pain. And I know when my dad busted in, if it's my dad, that it took a lot out of those two. And that makes a lot of sense, because that's how he was in real life. As a living soul, he took a lot out of you when you talk to him sometimes. So, yeah, guys, if this helps change one person's mind, then this was all worth it. And if I end up being wrong at the end of the day, like I said, I'll stand up here and be like, you know what, I was wrong. But nobody, especially on the internet, right? You have to think about in danger. Mike Castro made a video that is it's the damn truth, right? Ghosted magazine, he and April run Ghosted. That video is the truth, right? Stop jumping on people's bandwagons for your own benefit. Do I want to look stupid at the end of this? Nope. I don't. I could easily sit here and be like, I've been fucking duped and this is all bullshit. And no, have I sat many, many times before any of this and been like, is what I saw real? This is what I've been looking for all these years. And it's right there. So instead of killing them, guys, and bashing them, you should probably be out there trying to figure out how to be a part of it, how to witness it, how to truly understand what is happening. There's no YouTube video that's going to convey it properly. You just have to be there. No, Adam, right. So here we have a very good point, Adam, right? And this, the Fox sisters, all these scams over the years have made it challenging for legit psychics, mediums, people with gifts to actually progress and move forward because of the bad folks. Now we see this about regular businesses. It happens in the paranormal as well. So Adam, I'm going to go back to your point about the video from 11 years ago, and it's in their statement today, right? We have all done it, and this was something Sarah and I actually said from the get-go. Yeah, everybody asks for these knocks, and yes, Cody had been trying to do that for years, but when those two met, it became consistent. And when I tell you, and Sarah can tell you, and Rachel can tell you, and Danny can tell you, it happens the second they touch. It happens the second I made a connection there. And the more people that we put in the circle, the louder it got. I don't know how else to say it. So I'm asking my friends, right? If Adam, you being one of them, if you're being pulled into that vortex, just stop for a minute and give it a solid think. Would it have all been worth it? That night at SK Pierce to dupe Rob Stackowitz, the nobody from Pennsylvania, who they didn't even know was coming. And that would, once again, mean that there was some complex underground network of spies, people looking to impress me. And that's just not happening in real life, folks. Yeah, I mean, that night, I remember thinking like, well, fuck, they got to have some kind of device in the walls, because when I tell you it comes from the walls and the ceiling, it comes from the walls and the ceiling sometimes. You can feel it in the ground, but it doesn't mean that that's coming from this realm, folks. Yes, Christina, their response is Cody and Satori's response on their website. So, I mean, I could share so many more stories. I don't feel like I need to. I hope they know, right? I hope they know that the people that have witnessed it and the people that have been there truly, truly, truly get it. And for anybody that wants to jump on that bandwagon, go ahead. But you're not going to sway me until I see the proof that you're demanding on your side. I need you to prove to me that they're faking it. Until then, honestly, people should shut up, because it's completely unfair to expect that, having basing all of your opinions on a YouTube video. I'm just telling you it is. I have friends that have witnessed this outside. I have friends that have witnessed this. Um, fuck, I mean, we've done it. My big scam with them, I scam them. Well, can I get a group hug with my two of my favorites? And you're like, come on, dude, because they know what I'm doing, right? They know what I'm doing. I want to see this shit happen everywhere, and I've seen it happen. So no, and Cecilia, you shouldn't get out of the field because of this, right? But this is where they win. If people are exiting the paranormal because of the haters, and then you're handing them the trophy. You are. Don't exit the field because of people. Exit the field when you've satiated what you're looking for. But don't let other people push you out. That's it. So Cody, Satori, if you ever see this video, you know I love you. You know I believe you. Um, you know I still have no clue what you do or how it happens, and I don't think they do either. You know I will always be skeptical and try to figure this shit out. Um, but until it's right in front of my face, folks, I'm not going along with the trend. It's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen. I'm not going to step on anybody to hurt somebody's reputation like that. It's just stupid. It's just stupid. So those are my thoughts. I didn't even drink. Anybody want to come on? Adam, why don't you come on? And I'm not being a dick. That's not a challenge. I would love to hear somebody else's opinion on this. I will admit, I'm a little biased because I was able to witness this. I would love to understand how how it's easy for someone um, to buy into the hype. Like, I just want to understand that. So yeah, I mean, I'm willing to talk about it if anybody wants to come on and shoot the shit. Because I'm not quite done yet. I still have a little bit of vodka to get through. Yeah, Maria's right. You know, this happens everywhere, folks. It's not just the paranormal. Problem with the paranormal field is it's still kind of small-ish compared to other fields like pharmaceuticals or the electronics field. And I do want to mention another comment. Um, Yeah, so Ian and Ian's comment there is very similar to what Bill Brock mentioned. Now, Bill Brock, if you don't know who he is, he's got a connection with the Conjuring House, and you know, Bill's comment on my post was, "Hey, you know," he basically said, "I'm done. I'm known to debunk these things, and what I've witnessed, I cannot debunk, and I'm not telling you it's paranormal, and I'm not telling you it's not." He's like, "I just fucking can't figure it out." I get it, Dee Dee. I get it. I get it. But here's where, you know, Sarah will, uh-oh, uh-oh, I've got company. I'm either in trouble or this is going to get good.
You're not in trouble.
Very good.
No.
Um,
You said so many beautiful things.
but can I finish my thought before you interrupt
Yeah.
me? All right,
Yeah.
thanks.
Oh.
No, so back to Bill Brock, and I loved his comment. I do. I love his comment because he's not giving credence to either side. He is saying, as a very neutral and skeptical person, I cannot figure this out. And I've witnessed, but he witnessed it. He's witnessed it. So Adam, you know, back to your comments there. That's for me. I wish I could bring the entire freaking planet into one room, put those two in the middle, and let you all experience it. I've been lucky. I've been fortunate, blessed to have even crossed paths with those two and to experience it. So, um, yeah, I might be, like I said, I might be a little bit biased, but I judge people on their character as a whole. And
Mm,
the 99% of the time I've spent with those two has been with those two. The 1% has been witnessing what they do.
mm,
And nothing on either side lends to anything other than they are stand up and legit people. So until, and Kevin's nub felt it.
yeah,
So until someone can hand me that proof,
yeah.
I don't want to hear about them demanding proof, because they have offered to take their shoes off for me. They have done it blindfolded. They did it with headphones on and blindfolded. I
Mhm.
watched it. And no, this is not a paid endorsement. So that's all I have to say. Now, Sarah is
Yeah,
here and has
yeah.
something that clearly she wants to share with us.
Well, I think that what I'm sort of watching, everybody is sort of speaking. They're hearing you to respond. And we all, let's all be honest, there isn't one person here that isn't unbiased about this. We're either biased because we've been duped by somebody before, or we don't want to look stupid, or we're biased because we like somebody or we trust somebody that likes those people. There isn't one person here that can say they're truly unbiased. We all have the reason. We have a reason why we have our opinion. Um, Two things can be right, folks. I think this is where we lose a lot. I've only watched a couple videos. One way to lose me on a video is saying they're full of shit, but I can talk to Ghost for real. That's not proof of anything. That's jumping on something that's going to make your channel popular because you're talking about a trend. Um, but I'm just going to point this book out. This book talks about the very thing that is physical mediumship, whether you believe it or not. There is great study on this. The Vatican trains priests in psychic and mediumship, folks. So if you don't want to believe certain things, or if you believe certain things about these two, then you better start looking at some of these things that we worship very freely. So yes, are there people out there falsifying stuff? Absolutely, they do. Does that make the person doing it right wrong? So it makes me a little sad. You can go out there and find videos of people toe popping, knuckle popping, whatever the hell popping you think they're doing. Of course you can find that. does that mean, there you go. Does that mean that Cody is doing that? Does that automatically mean, well, if this guy can do it, then Cody can? If you watch their video, they talk about the video from 11 years ago. One thing that video really showed me, hey folks, there are things that I possibly was gifted with that I didn't realize until I met Ron. Does that make me a bullshitter? Does that make me a fucking liar? Because everybody's got their story and everybody wants to be right. Everybody wants to be the thing. This is about how magical each and every one of us are. And they encourage people to come forward and talk about, can you also do this? Because we can't be the only two people on the planet that can do this. That is what those two shared that with that conversation with me. They don't think they're the only two people on the planet that can do it. So that kind of makes me a little sad. I also, look, I have no skin in the game when it comes to YouTubers. I think what they're doing, and go out there and be awesome at it. But I often wonder if you put them on there because you thought it was going to get you some views, and now your followers are questioning you. So now are you questioning them because your followers are questioning you? Or do you truly have a question about what you experienced? this is just, we got to understand what's going on here. You know, if a channel has something to lose, ask yourself. Cody and Satori have never, I am the other owner of Get Haunted. I have watched Rob beg them, can we please put you at this event and we will pay you? And the answer has always been, absolutely not. We do not do this for money.
Yeah, it pisses me off. You know, because you know, last year they did the opener to our Making Sense of Your Senses. Here's what I'll say to you, right? When we pitch, Sarah and I pitched to them the concept, to watch their faces light up, and they looked at each other and they were like, oh my God, this is what we talk about. That's why they agreed to do it. They agreed to do the opener. They would not do what the hell I've been begging them to do for all these times. Adam, I'm not sure. Yes, he did. He did.
Well, he had leukemia. He had leukemia, and he did have a bone marrow transplant. And I just want to point out, Rob, you mentioned twice in this video that you are nobody. If you are nobody in paranormal, I'm actually even less than that in the paranormal. Why would Cody and Satori back an idea that we had to have people discover their own magic and connection with universe?
Good question.
So I think, you know, it is, again, I do, more than anything on this planet, I would never wish not one single soul watching this ever to sit in the seat that we have sat in and that they are sitting in, ever.
Yeah.
Because people will go along with something just because there is no thought process. They're just going along with what's going on. And it's not kind. Look, you don't have to believe them. I agree with you, Rob. You're not asking anybody to change their opinion. You know, again, everybody has their own reasons as to why they believe what they believe and what their opinion is. I will just say I got to witness it in Gettysburg. I was sitting right next to Satori. Cody was facing me. I also got to stand in the circle. I got to stand in the circle and hold hands with Satori. And, you know, that is something you and I and Get Haunted crew, this is what is really important to each of us. And this is the mission of what we do. And it is, we want you to step in that circle. We want you to experience what you can. Does that mean you're going to believe everything? No, that's your journey. That's your journey, and that is for you and you alone to decide what you want to discover, what you want to pick apart. And you should, and they encourage you to. But just because the Fox like really the Fox sisters, this is who we're going to go with. This is going to be who we're going to compare them to, because I've got news for you folks. Then most of us in the paranormal should probably take a big seat. I think we are closing this circle off in the paranormal when we do this. I think pitting YouTubers in the paranormal field and people who are curious and people who are seasoned and people who are on network television, doing that is doing nothing but creating huge divisions in something that is all going to happen to us. And that is every single one of us are going to die. And we're going to fight about what it is that end game is.
Oh.
And I think it's ridiculous.
And guess what? When I go,
I'm
going to find every one of them. And when knock on their fucking ceiling every night while they're trying to sleep. I'll just pound away. So, yeah, look, again.
You got to experience it. You have to take a moment, take a breath, look at why do we jump on something that is put in a title of a YouTube video? We jump on that and we're like, oh God, that's got to be something real. But we don't ever stop and go, why would you put that in a title of a YouTube video?
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like there are bigger conversations, and when we refuse to have those conversations, what we're saying is absolutely not. I'm not going to look dumb. This is going to be my opinion. You know, like Rob said, we could be completely wrong here, but you know, again, I watched these kids. I know what I saw at the Conjuring house. That was a quick little birthday hug you got. And I actually got to be right there as we were all getting ready to do our thing. We got to be right there I was right there with Austin.
Yeah.
And it is one of those things where you're like, the hell? And
It
you
was
guys,
upstairs. Yeah. So look, they know me, right? It was my birthday. It was my birthday. I'm like, can I get a hug? Goodbye. And they're like,
yeah.
So, and they're not allowed to do that there, but they gave me a quick hug. And as soon as they touched me upstairs,
Yeah.
though, Austin or Dom too, Dominic,
Yeah. Yeah.
fucking jaw dropped. Everybody's like, what? Like,
Yeah.
so I don't know.
Yeah.
I know what I saw. I know what I've heard. You know what you've watched and heard. To think that me, you, and the dozens. Here's another thing. I need people to kind of try to grasp this for a second. I forgot to touch on it. You would need a photographic memory. They would need somebody there is either incredibly skilled, right? Because they would need my father's full name, how to spell Fred Stackowitz, his date of death, my niece's name, my brother's names, plus the other people that were read that night. They would need to remember all of this, all of it. It wasn't just me. There were multiple people that were read that night. There, other locations. Fucking A. I know them. Pretty sure Cody doesn't have a photographic memory or some crazy ass toes. I don't know. But what I'm telling you is they would have needed to study. Again, on that first night, they had an hour's notice, and only one person really knew me at that point. So I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. And I'm not going to try because I know what happened that night. So think about these things, right? You need to, no, Ian, but it shouldn't, right? You shouldn't have to be bulletproof to be who you are. If that's the society we're living in, I'll gladly move into the woods and tell everybody else to fuck off. Because the truth is they don't put themselves out there in a way that they are truly benefiting from this. If anything, they're being hurt, and we're witnessing it now.
But remember, we talked about this too. You know, can we maybe just for 5 seconds use our head here? You know, Satori is Jason Hawes's daughter. He's been in the network game now for what, 20 years?
However long.
Let's be honest. You think for a second that if this were a big charlatan game, you don't think he would have had this shit covered because he knows what was coming down the pipe. Right. So, you know, I think what kind of happens here is this. I don't know how often these kids do this. I don't know that it's nightly. I don't know that it's weekly. I don't even know that it's monthly. But, you know, I think what we can say here is psychic mediums aren't 100% correct.
Ever.
You know, I don't think they claim to be 100%. Satori will be the first one to tell you she's as psychic as a rock. She uses that specific description. I'm as psychic as a rock. You know, when these connections are made, and it is sad that anybody in the world would go out there and try to screw people over. What I will say is YouTube videos have a tendency to do that because you want the likes and views. Satori grew up, but
yeah, like the one where I'm naked got like 2.3 million views, right? Yeah, the one where I'm holding and kissing babies, I only got like 80 views on that.
Well, you know what? Let's take our own experiences though, for real, Rob. When we have something nice to say, we'll get a few here and there. Yeah. I cry for 2 hours. People can't wait to watch that train wreck.
2,000 views.
So ask yourself that question. You wanted to see the shit going down. You want to see people hurt. You want to see the mud being slung. But something like this, well, that can't be true. They can't truly be connecting with the other side, because that would be something good and a little bit of an awe-inspiring, like, wow. What I truly love about those two, though, is this. They do not hold on to that gift for themselves. They truly want people to discover this. They said in their video today, their response video today, they had thousands of people reach out saying they too have this experience, that they can do this, and they are so excited to hear that. So they're not being egotistical about this. They're not being like, no, absolutely not. It's only us and us only. And if you're stuck on how the story is told, how they've discovered that the two of them can do it, if you're stuck on that and that alone, then you're missing the bigger picture here, folks. And I will say for the record, if that dude can throw his toe around, if he can throw that toe around and make it sound like it's coming from over here and over here and over here and upstairs, then you know what? I think he's pretty magical. I'm gonna still support that boy.
So Adam, I know this comment intimately. They will charge you. They will. And I've paid them to do events. On events where they get paid, they will not do this. They will not do this. They will not do this. I've offered them double what they would normally charge.
Oh, wait. Yeah. We had to pay them for their intro. Like, we pay them for their time.
Yeah.
That had nothing to do with the touching and knocking.
No.
Nothing.
No.
No.
But when they do this, you cannot pay them. In fact, it was Cody's freaking birthday, and I tried to pay for their dinner, and Satori yelled at me like fucking fiercely. And I have that message. I'm not a screenshot guy, but I have those messages. So this is what I mean, right? This is where the muddy waters, can make things look not what they are. They will not pay. They will not take money for this piece of what they do. They have a museum. They have their lectures. Yes, they get paid for those, and they should.
Yeah, like any celebrity or person you go to a Paracon for, you're gonna pay. So I think, yeah, you can't, like, it's not a menu. You can't say I would like you to come in and do the tapping. Like, you can't. That's not an offer. You can't.
No, and they've said it. So yeah, if there's ever money involved, you will not get the knocking. You just won't. They won't do it, and I don't blame them for it. I used to hate them for it. Not hate them, but it used to drive me fucking crazy, because I'm like, well, what if I pay you to come here to bring your museum in for the day? And they're like, okay, but we're not doing our thing. And I'm like, come on. Like, but what if that ends at 5 and then we start at 6? We're just hanging out. Yeah, they're like, no. The story's like, no, Rob, I'm not stupid. I'm like, God damn it. So no. Yeah. So yeah, they get paid to do appearances. They get paid to bring their museum around. They get paid to do lectures.
Yeah,
you will not get knock.
I'm a little curious why, and this is not, Adam, this isn't about you, because we're talking about the hundreds of thousands of people, but it's a little offensive for me to think Sam and Colby's video is the standard for anything. Like, I would much rather go to somebody in the field first than watch a YouTube video to get my lessons or my answers. But that's me. But that's just me. Listen, I'm going to be 53. That is not my world. I did not grow up with influencers. Our influencers were, I don't know, your mom and dad. I don't know. It wasn't this. So for me, you've got this, and, Adam, you're one of them. We've got this plethora of amazing people in the field. Not that they're not. It's a different genre. So you've got a plethora of people right here in the field, that here it is, talk to the people in the field. These are kids. No offense. I've watched a Sam and Colby video where they brought a friend in who was a psychic medium. Nobody questioned her, and I found it to be comical and laughable. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but this kid was literally telling everybody how the ghost only come to her. That was acceptable. Nobody questioned that. You know why? Because she's not the same status as Cody and Satori.
Right. Exactly. And I'm going to jump back to Ian's comment just for a second before I forget. Um, but even before I do that, you know, my kid walked in here a week and a half ago. Like, oh my God, like I saw Sam and Colby thing. I know you're friends with Cody Satori. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
fuck. Right. It's kind of how I found out about this shit.
Yeah.
But to my daughter's credit, you know, she wasn't jumping onto the bandwagon.
She just knew about it.
But she did hear about it. So this shows you the power of what influence.
Your Stacy's big age showing.
Stacy, go take your Geritol. It shows you the power of social media and influencers / YouTubers. I'm not knocking that. Sarah and I have said from day one, everybody deserves a voice in the paranormal, but the power you wield needs to be handled with some wisdom and with some grace. So with that being said, Ian Murphy, you use the term bulletproof in the paranormal. And I'm sorry, dude, bulletproof and paranormal are two words that don't go together, sort of like military intelligence. They just don't work together. There's nothing bulletproof in this. We say it, we start every event with that, right? And I don't know. I mean, we can try to find reasons why what's happening to them is okay, and you will never find one that I will agree with, because unless, of course, they both, one or both, comes out and is like, "Yep, we've been bullshitting you guys. My dad's one of the most famous guys in the paranormal ever, and I had nothing better to do with my time than just fucking ruin the entire family's reputation," or they're not.
Yeah.
Or whatever. But until that day happens.
Yeah.
Until somebody gives me the same exact proof that they're requesting from Cody and Satori, but on the other side, right here, I don't want to hear it. Like, I don't. It's like asking for anybody to provide proof of their connection to the paranormal. Now, Adam made a point earlier on my post, right? You know, that if they use somebody's personal information, you know, as a way, I get it, man, believe me. And if anybody would be fucking destroyed,
yeah,
it's gonna be me, for what they gave me with my father, which was very, very important piece of healing and moving forward. Another thing they would never have known. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, this is the thing that is, this right here is where we all fracture and go off. And we're not even anymore talking about what it is. I bet you in the end, nobody cares. In the end, nobody truly cares. These people making these videos, it doesn't make one iota difference to their life if Cody and Satori are faking. Not one of those people. I think this is where conversations stop. This is where you start having people go, I don't even want to talk about it then, because you're not willing. There's no back and forth. We can all have difference of opinion. We have it right here on our crew. Everybody on our crew has different beliefs, different methods, different theories, different thoughts. And you know what? What we want to do is open those conversations to everyone, so everybody can have a taste of the paranormal, have an experience right in the paranormal. But then we shit all over it with these situations.
They do.
And it makes me sad that, if somebody's being respectful about their opinion, then it's just your opinion, and that's okay. We all have them. But what I have seen so far with videos I have not seen one person that has actually sat with Cody and Satori. It's almost like, well, it's not the same at all, but when somebody makes a comment about us, but nobody has had the balls to come and like go, hey, Sarah, Rob, we heard this. Let's talk about it. No, let's just keep spreading it out. Let's just keep talking to everybody but. And you know why? Because again, I think Ian said it. Everybody watches that left-hand turn to see the doom, right? Nobody's watching.
Look, man, we experienced the whole YouTube thing back in whatever month that was when a video was made about Get Haunted. A completely false bullshit video accusing us of being a shell company for another company and this and that. We're the big scam artists, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sarah and Danny watched me hit the floor. Like I hit the floor that morning.
Literally, I literally picked you up off the floor.
Everything we had worked for, tens of thousands of dollars that I have put into this company, was flushed down the toilet in real time, in front of my face, in front of your face and Danny's face, in a matter of seconds, because somebody made a video that wasn't even true. And we watched Paranormal Group.
Oh God, everybody shared it out.
They're just fucking firing it out. Boom, boom. And some of you probably don't even know about this or remember it. I watched our reputation. I watched our money. I watched our company go down the toilet in real time. Real time.
Yeah.
With not one question, not one person reached out and said, hey guys, is this true? What I'm hearing about Get Haunted? Is this even remotely true? Nope. Forward, share, boom.
So it took one person, thank God, one of our friends to say, did you guys see this? One person, only one person.
Oh, they weren't even on the team. This person was not on the team. They forwarded it to me and I'm like, okay, I'll watch this later. And then they're like, no, you should probably watch this now. I'm like, is it about me? And they're like, yeah.
Yes, it is.
I'm not joking, guys. Like they picked me up off the floor because everything that I had been working for was just destroyed by one person who didn't know what the fuck they were talking about.
Well, to be honest with you, though, this is a perfect example. It falls a little bit into the Sam and Colby situation. The person that made that video about us had a legit complaint about another company. He was angry and he made a video, but he added us into it because he saw something and made an assumption and added into the video. So he had his reason. He didn't just go out there and do it for no reason. Just as Sam and Colby are not flipping out for no reason. When you see your numbers, your followers questioning you, and their job is to keep a channel interesting and flowing and to keep those numbers up. That's how they make the money, and they make a lot of money. So I get what the knee-jerk reaction is, right? But this is the problem. The problem with knee-jerk reactions today is it spreads too fast. Yeah. It spreads too fast. You can get no control. Once it's out there, it's out there. And guess what, people? At our big ages, we should know better to just hit share. Stop it.
No, I just want to throw this in there because the person that made that video, although we're no longer friends on Facebook for whatever reason, I reached out. I'm like, hey, like, come on a live with me. Let's talk about this. This is the first time I ever tried this. He's the only one that ever accepted my request to go live and talk about an issue. To his credit, He admitted that he was wrong, and he admitted, and he took the video down. But again, you know, it didn't erase what we witnessed that day. And that was the very first day that I truly felt like, oh my God, social media, to sound old, I was like, social media is evil. Like, I finally got my taste of it. And this is part of what bothers me about what's happening with Cody and Satori. Is it's very, very similar in that way. It's this frenzy. Look, I used to raise piranhas. New fun fact for all of you. I lost this part of my finger. I still have the scar.
Ew.
Yeah, to my piranha. And it's what it reminds me of. Like, if I when I had 5, 6, 7 piranhas in a tank, if I dropped food in, it was messy and ugly. And that's what it felt like that day, and that's what I'm witnessing right now. So that's all I'm saying. Yeah,
do you remember that?
Huh?
Is Adam, I don't know. You made a comment. I made a comment on my Facebook post about them a few weeks ago. I think them being, is it Sam and Colby? Then you said you were pissed at someone and thought it was them. I'm curious. I will say this. If there is a question, I have watched Rob go directly to the person, and like directly to the person making a comment, or if he thinks it's about us or somebody, he goes directly to that person. It might, for some of them, people might be like, God, you're paranoid, but you just ask the question, just asking, because we've been there. We've been in that position where you don't say something and it becomes something bigger than it needs to.
It does. You know, I don't know. It's just tough, right? And then it becomes this really kind of shitty, sensitive topic for everybody, because you don't know what to do. I truly struggled. I'm like, I want to show support here, right? But maybe they just wanted to go away, and you just don't know what to do. But I had to bring myself back to March, April.
It was May. Just
April,
FYI.
May, March, April, May, whatever. And I remember that feeling like, you know what, if one fucking person just stood up for us, it might feel a little bit better. So then I had
they did.
And
an unlikely soul. We didn't even realize.
That's right. You know, and then I saw their announcement, and I saw like Brian Murphy and folks putting announcements. I'm like, thank God I can do this now and not worry about making things worse for them. And I'll say one last thing about this. As the father of a daughter, God forbid somebody goes after my daughter that way, very publicly, and y'all can say, well, they make themselves public. I don't give a shit.
That's a bad excuse.
Sarah's been there with her own children. When you go after people's kids, it's a dangerous move. It's a gamble, especially with me. So, just be kind, be humble, don't, as Sarah would say, don't be a dick.
I mean, here's the thing. Look, just because you can doesn't mean you should. We all have opinions. It doesn't mean we need to share them 24 hours a day on every subject. Is this really the hill you want to die on? And again, if your reasoning for loving them is because you had an amazing experience with them, please don't let this negate the experience you had, because I got to witness it firsthand. You know why I know it was real? You know why I know that moment was real and they weren't bullshit artists? Because 2 people that could have walked in for me didn't. And that meant more to me, to be honest, than them showing up. And there's a reason for that. And I'm not going to share it publicly. So they're not bullshit artists. They're not looking to impress the ones that they need to impress or want to impress or should impress or whatever they would think. Like, let's get Rob. We'll get his business partner in on this. No, So honestly, if you love them because of your experience, I hope you hold on to that experience, because that was something so special for you in that moment. And I know what Rob, Stacy, wouldn't everybody love to have Stacy come on and be a big
No,
old
you
dick?
don't. So what the world needs to understand is the power of Stacy's talent,
Yeah.
which is not my job to divulge. What I can say is that, yeah,
Just you're right. We don't want to unleash
yeah, we
Stacy, but
don't need to.
Stacy, just
We don't
know
need.
we
Yeah,
love you for it.
we do.
And if you're having a hard time believing that what they do could truly be a connection to the other side because you have been duped or frauded or you're skeptical, that's okay too. But you don't have to jump on every bandwagon to prove your point. Nobody's looking at you and thinking you're an asshole for not believing or that you're an asshole for believing. I think if somebody is thinking that about you, they're actually the real asshole. I can't imagine sitting here. And I do, by the way, the people that are out there making inflammatory videos, taking time to make videos that they had nothing to do with this, but they're all over there saying, oh my, I mean, I can't get the one out of my head. And I know, Rob, I
Yeah,
am so sorry.
don't
I
stop.
can't get it out of my head.
I'm going to mute you.
I know, I won't say it, but oh my gosh, like, this is just go out, learn your gifts, make your connections, listen to what's connecting with you, make your connections in this world. Believe in something. Believe that there could be moments. We've all had them. And, ask yourself why it bugs you. Ask yourself why you believe so much or why it bugs you so much, because there's probably a reason there. It has nothing to do with Cody and Satori. I hope these kids, their response video was encouraging to me. You know, and I said to Rob, I'm not at all, I'm not comparing us. Please don't anybody, that's not what I'm doing here. But there was that moment where I watched them and I thought, wow, here are two people that are standing next to each other. And you said it, facing the music and not stopping. And so I hope that they truly, you always have to pee. I truly
really
hope
gotta pee really bad. I'm ready
that they continue to do what they do. So guys, just remember, if you have that experience, hold on to it. If you don't want to believe it and you, because of your reasons, that's okay too. Just be kind. Just be kind.
And here's what I'll ask, right? As we close this thing out so that I don't make a mess in my seat here. Seek the facts. Please just look for it. There, in the last week I've had two people or two or three, four people or two organizations that I care about have been called scams or fakes or whatever. Without any actual facts, right? So,
and a Google search is an actual facts, people.
It took me 15 seconds to provide something to somebody to debunk their accusation against someone. It's bullshit. And there was a very specific reason I didn't use their names in the thumbnail or the title here. I didn't do this for me. I did this because I was fucking eating myself alive. Sarah can tell you. We've talked about this quite a bit this week. It was just eating me up that there was nothing I could do for them. And I just didn't know the right thing to do. But the only thing I can offer to my friends and the people that watch this is my personal experience with them, my personal feelings about those two. And I'm not trying to sell you on them. I'm not.
It's your experience.
If you don't want to believe it, you never will. And that's fine. I just ask that people don't pile on. The piranhas, my piranha days are over. Don't be a piranha. Just be an actual thinker. Talk to people. I don't know who you guys know, who I know or don't know, but this is one instance where I know these people and I know who they are and I do care about them. And I have never asked for anything from anybody except that you make smart choices and that you're fair, because watching what was unfolding had a lot of parallels to what we went through this year, and it's bullshit and it's not nice.
It's not nice. It's not nice, and we don't want to unleash Stacy.
Yeah, don't piss Stacy off. Look, man, that guy gets mad. Weird shit happens. Like there could be solar flares that fuck the internet up for like 8 months, which probably is not a bad thing. But I got tickets to sell. Like, you want to talk about people that are trying to sell shit? That's me.
Yeah, well, and listen, we do love our Stacy, and you got to. If you ask him for his help, you better be ready for his help. That's all I'm going to say, because he gives it. and we love him for that. So yeah, Rob, I think I love that. I know this bothered you. You wanted to come on. I only came on because I just wanted people to understand that two things can be right. You can have your opinion. You don't have to share them. And let's be kind in the paranormal. Let's try to bridge those gaps. Let's stop making these weird fractures and let's work together and you know, see what we can come up with. Maybe there's something even bigger there that we can discover. And maybe it's not about frauds. Maybe it's about discovering more magic instead of there's enough of that bullshit out there, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Well, hopefully was that therapeutic for you?
That was my tongue. Here, watch.
Oh, yeah.
Here, watch. Here's your proof. Ready?
Okay. First of all, don't ever put your feet on camera again.
Why? They're nice feet. Adam, what do you think of my feet?
Don't
do that.
I love when I can hear Danny laughing in the background. It's my favorite thing in the whole wide world. There's nothing better than Danny's laughter in the background. Don't ever do that again.
I didn't even know I could do that. That's kind of creepy.
Your foot was like doing the wave.
Yeah, I can't even do that with my hand.
He's like, what?
This is what happens when Rob has vodka and
this is what happens when you come in late. You just don't even know what you're gonna see. Oh my God. Oh God. Yeah, I can't even look at it.
Look, Sarah.
No, I can't.
Look at that.
Oh my God. Look at Jeff, airbrush that.
This is going to be my gig moving forward. Rob's magic foot.
You've said a lot of weird things today. Just so you're on your weird things said quota today.
We're done.
Look at Adam. Adam jumping right into that.
Yeah. You know what they say.
Look, they're all excited about you. Look at your foot just brought the chicks to the table. They're all like, hey now. It looks like a hand puppet, right, Courtney?
That's what they call it, the hand puppet.
A weirdo. Well, I hope this helps. I know they have amazing support all around them. Hopefully they realize they have another little bit of support right here with the Get On It Network. With each of you, we support your decisions, your opinions. Yeah.
All right.
You purged, right? Now you're gonna go pee?
Yeah, I got it. Or else it's happening right here.
Uh-oh. All right. I know. Why do we encourage him? Nobody should. Nobody should. I love that Courtney already gets it. All right. Well, you sign off. This was your show.
Yeah. So seriously, thank you all for hearing me out. I hope if you were doubting or if you were worried, I'm not telling you that to believe or disbelieve. I'm just telling you to please gather facts. Don't go with the flow. Be an individual. Don't be a dick.
Be kind in the paranormal. Let's show kindness.
Be nice. Be nice.
Let's be gentle. Be gentle, because you know what? If you were sitting here, and we will, Gina, we all hold space for this, but if you were sitting in this chair, you would want people to go gentle with you. You really would. So
shut up down there. Yes.
Danny.
Don't be a dick.
Don't be a dick.
All right.
We're going to have to make another run of hats, I think. So.
Yep. Code yellow.
Okay, he's got to go. All right.
Gotta go. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for coming in to bail me out. I don't know. That's it.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Night.
Night, peeps. Peace. Thank you.